Hey YouTube, it's me, Crazy Kembe, and today I wanted to talk about what's been going with the Sony PSN. Now maybe for the past about since the 19th, Sony PSN has been down. It's been hacked by like hackers and all kind of things. And it'd be like news like credit card information, people's personal information have been like exposed. Just like 2.2 million people's information that's out for sale. But like I think like today this Sony sent out like a press conference that they will have it back up by May 4th. And yeah, they're gonna give out like free games in like 30 days of PSN Plus. That's cool and all, but the issue here is not about whether we should be rewarded for our patience. The real issue here is, can you from here on out can you really trust Sony? Can you trust Sony? Like they say it's gonna be like a new firmware update, and then when you go online you're gonna have to change your like password, put in your personal information again, and but honestly, would I personally trust Sony? And my answer is fuck no. Are you insane? So I'm not gonna put in my personal information. Why would I go back in there and put in my own personal information again and my credit card information? Some people don't realize the gravity of how exposed the thing is. Like some people don't. I know this is stupid, but a lot of people use the same password for everything. Like so some of the hackers got hold of some people's passwords. They can pretty much go to your email, your Facebook, your PayPal. That's a big one, PayPal, and basically like draw money from you. And people are just like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm they say I'm paranoid because every time I use a credit card or debit card, I usually erase it. They say I'm paranoid. But let me tell you something. Even for example, it doesn't have to be a hacker. Someone comes in and steals your PS3 with the data and your with all that stuff on your PS3. They can pretty much get into your bank account. People think this is a game, but this is your life you're playing with, man. You're basically giving your life to Sony to juggle with. How can you trust them with something like that? How could you trust them with the money you work so hard to make, and you just trust a stranger to hold the balance? It's like, I don't know how people are. The credit card, those who know, credit card is something you don't really toy with. Let me explain. A credit card, it's like you go to your company, there's some amount of money you can draw out. But if you go over the limit, you have to pay it back to the company. And the longer you take, the more they're gonna add interest. And this is some of the ways people can go into debt with the credit card. And you put that information out on PlayStation, Sony, not only Sony, Microsoft. Microsoft's bragging this will never happen to us because of paperwork, but that's also bullshit. It can also happen to Microsoft. But maybe to be more prepared because Sony took it for first, but it was a matter of time before it happened to one of the other people. But and like a debit card, some people have like overdrafts. Like I used to have like overdraft turned on. Like basically, if you go over that fee, that you don't have no money in your like debit card, you have like $0. You buy something. It's like you buy something like $90. They're gonna charge you that $90. And what my bank used to do was that for every 4 days you couldn't pay off that amount you owed, they add $35. And they kept doing that. So that money can really add up. So I don't know. Like Sony, and Sony doesn't even get the picture. They don't get it. Like we're sorry. They would just make this up to you. We have some free games on PS. Don't really get it. The issue wasn't about whether we the customers should be rewarded. The issue is basically from here on out, can you really trust Sony with things like that? And the answer is no. And you're a fool if you do it again. Like when the new update comes, I recommend everybody put in fake information, and from here on out use only PSN cards, because that is some serious stuff, because if some information, and there's some stories that some people would charge things they didn't even use. So if that stuff really got out, that's a really dangerous thing, because that is your life. I know it's not a game. It's like not a game. This is your life. So, like credit cards, debit, personal information. These are things to worry about. What else? I mean, Sony has messed up a lot. They promised things that they always promise things they never fail to deliver. I mean, the PS3 was $600. I mean, that was understandable. It became low. The backwards compatible PS3s, that was also understandable. But this is the biggest fuck up in Sony history to date, and people are just trying to underplay it, and they are trying to underplay it too. But it's a huge deal. It really is. Like, are any of these things, are the information really safe? Any of these like companies, not only Sony, Microsoft, any like PC things, anything, a lot of things, or Facebook, it's things to really think about. And it's basically, and then Sony doesn't really, still doesn't get it. It's like, oh, okay, well, PSN, now we're just gonna give you stuff. No, they don't get the big, they don't get what people are trying to tell them is, basically, can we trust you? Who's to say those servers are much like safer? It could be a lie, it could be the same thing, but just added one more extra thing. And knowing Sony, that's probably the case. So I wouldn't trust them on the grain. So just because they say it's safer, you don't know. It's probably the same thing with just like two new things added, like maybe a firewall or a cheap firewall. You don't know. So why would you? Why would you trust someone with your life, something like that? Like this, a system can break. Like PS3s, they break. Consoles can be replaced, but you see, something you cannot replace or repair is trust. And going on forward, I will not trust Sony with anything. You cannot afford to trust on anything. I would just use PSN cards and just put fake personal information, because who's to say this cannot happen again? It probably will happen again. And people, and Microsoft too is acting cocky, but it can also happen to them too. Just because you pay for something doesn't mean it's a better service. The only difference between Sony and Microsoft is that one company is smart enough to bamboozle people and scam them into paying for the thing, and one company wants to do the right thing. But it's a business. Whatever works. And that's my video. So leave your thoughts. Do you think you can trust Sony again? On the comments or whatever. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.